Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. What an insane day we saw on NVIDIA today. Up over 10% on the day, and this entire move all stems back to the breakout that we saw on the daily chart last week on Friday. We talked about this in my Sunday video, talking about the technical breakout that was forming and how we should expect more upside into this week if the NASDAQ continues its way higher. NVIDIA broke over a key level at 270, made a very nice profit on my swing trade, and also day traded it today using the break and retest. We're going to go ahead and do some analysis on NVIDIA today, show you guys why this occurred. You guys can go ahead and check out my Sunday video if you want to see what it looked like prior and how this sort of set up. And we're going to really break down the trade that I took today on the break and retest. Extremely clean trade. And I want to go ahead and reiterate how awesome this break and retest strategy is, because today it yielded me about a 200% winner. So let's go ahead and jump into this video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to come hang out in the pre-market live streams where we analyze all of these charts on a daily basis. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and start today's video on the daily chart on NVIDIA, talk about what we saw last week on Sunday. I made this video talking about the technical breakout that was forming and why we should expect more upside into this week. So here on the daily chart, it was very clean, guys. A very nice 210 hold. We held this about 4 times over the last 2 months. Since about January 24th, we have held this 209, 210 level. And what we can see on the daily chart, we had a very nice downtrend, a downtrend creating somewhat of a bull flag. Now, on Thursday and Friday of last week, we broke above that downtrend, a very clean breakout. Right here, huge breakout on NVIDIA. And when I saw that, I knew that that would start to ignite some buying. I knew that a technical breakout like this would start to go ahead and possibly create more upside. If you consolidate for 2 months at a key level and break out of a potential downtrend, a potential bull flag, there is going to be some more pressure to the upside. We saw that last week, and you can see the day we saw today with some intense volume up about 10%. So here on the daily chart, the entire analysis starts here on the daily chart. I can't stress enough how important it is to zoom out, look at the dailies, look at the key levels, the 210 level, the downtrend on the daily, the breakout that occurred last week, and that should give you some insight into what you could see in the following days. Huge breakout. We've seen this across many stocks, right? Tesla had the same downtrend, guys, right around here. We talked about this last week. Tesla saw the exact same downtrend for about a month and a half, held a key level, and had a monster breakout. NVIDIA, same exact thing. And then if we go to Apple, we saw the exact same thing on Apple, guys. Look at this downtrend on Apple. We have a downtrend forming, big key level. We hold it, and look at the reaction on Apple. So this is the common theme right now. We're getting breakouts on the daily charts, and you want to be someone that is trying to spot these downtrend breakouts, because there is a lot of momentum that seems to be coming into this market right now. So NVIDIA, that's the daily chart. Let's now go ahead and jump into my day trade today, which was about a 200% winner, which was right off a break and retest off a key level intraday. All right, guys, so coming into today, I was looking at a very key level right around 268 to 270. It wasn't an exact perfect level, but it was a range that I've been watching on NVIDIA. We can see this was previous support, turned into resistance right here, turned into resistance again, and then earlier this week on Tuesday and Wednesday, we started to reject off this 268 to 270 level. So we knew coming into today, if you zoom out and you look at the longer term time frames, we knew coming into today that this zone right here was going to be a very difficult level to get through. Now, I want to go ahead and share with you guys how I traded the breakout of this level intraday using the break and retest. So if we zoom in here now on NVIDIA's chart, I'm going to break down some of the things that are on my screen. The blue line that you're seeing is the 9 EMA on the 1 minute chart. The green line is the 40 EMA. The gray line that you see is the VWAP, and the red line you see is the 105 EMA. In this example, I was really only looking at the 9 EMA on the 1 minute chart. This is something that I look at on a very frequent basis. If you guys want to watch my A+ video, this trade is an exact example of my A+ type of setup. So we can see that early morning, we pushed into that 269. We rejected. That was sort of concerning to me, right? Because we pushed right back into it. We rejected it again. I said to myself, well, this might just be another day that NVIDIA rejects this key resistance point and we start to slip back to the downside. However, intraday, you guys can see NVIDIA held the green line very nicely. Now that green line, the 40 EMA on the 1 minute chart, that is the 9 EMA on the 5 minute chart. I don't have to change my time frames because I set up my EMAs that way. But if I do change to the 5 minute chart, you are going to see that the blue line is back to your 9 EMA. And look at where NVIDIA held here. The 9 EMA on the 5 minute chart. On this pullback, we held that EMA perfectly. So back on the 1 minute chart, I noticed that we were starting to hold that 40 EMA, which is the 9 EMA on the 5 minute. This is just a way for me not having to change time frames. I just use different EMAs on the 1 minute chart to signify different time frames. So we can see we pulled back to that EMA right here. That green line started to hold and we started to get a push higher. Now, we got the breakthrough around 269 right here around 1036. You guys can see we got a candle through that level. What did NVIDIA do after pushing through that level? We went ahead and retested the previous highs all right here. Look at the strength that was showing here after we broke above, retested those previous highs. And what else was right there on NVIDIA? The 9 EMA. The 9 EMA was supporting NVIDIA to the upside. It was holding a retest level of previous high of day. And not only was that previous high of day, that was the previous resistance on the 4-hour chart that was back from about a month ago. All these things lined up beautifully right here. And when I noticed that intraday, I had to take my shot. This was a trade that I had to take, put some risk on. I saw that we were holding the 9 EMA, holding the retest level intraday, which was not only high a day, but it was previous resistance on the 4-hour and daily chart. That is something that is quite beautiful in my opinion, and I had to go ahead and put some money on the table. So right here, guys, straight from the Discord chat where I post every single trade that I take, or we trade them live right in the voice chat, calling these trades as I take them real time. Here was my entry, 1038. I took 5 contracts of NVIDIA, 270 calls for $4.09. 1038 was right here. It was this candle right here. As I saw NVIDIA pull back to the 9, start to wick and hold that previous retest level, the 9 EMA as well, I wanted to go ahead and put risk on the table here. My stop loss was below the 9. If NVIDIA cracks below the 9, cracks below my retest, I get out of the trade pretty much unharmed. It's a very easy level to go ahead and stop out at because we are up above the resistance, trying to turn it into support. If it fails to hold it as support, I'm out of the trade. I don't want to be in it. However, after my entry, there was no signs of concern. We continued to hold the 9, continued to hold the retest level. You guys can see right here, here's the retest level earlier in the morning, which was not only high a day, but a previous resistance. And we can see I went ahead and got in there. So you can see I did start to scale out because this is what I like to do. I like to take risk off the table. So I started to take some off at 1045, which was on this push, took some off on this big push at 1045, took some more off at 1046, and then took some more off at 1057 when we broke the 9 EMA, and I had one left, and this is where all the money was made. My runner was what made me the most money, and this is what I love about scaling out, because I scaled out of 4 of my 5 contracts. You can see right here, sold 2, sold 1, and sold 1. I sold 4 out of my 5. And when I sell 4 out of my 5 with the profit, I can sit back, relax, and let the last runner go until I see signs of weakness. That last contract cannot affect me. I can maybe lose a little bit, give back some profits, but there is no way that with 1 contract left, I can go red on this position if I am actively managing it. So I take my risk off the table after I get my profit, and I let the runner ride. So you can see I left 1 contract ride. I was still holding it at 1145, and I finally took it off. at 324. I took my last contract off at 324, scaled out of NVIDIA for about $1,100 winner, and I rolled it into some next week 280s. I did this because it's basically a free contract. All of the profits that I gained are back into the contract for next week. I did this because if NVIDIA falls tomorrow, my 0 DTE contract, the one that I have left would be pretty much obliterated, and I didn't want to expose myself to that type of risk. So I rolled those profits into some next weeks, looking for more upside on NVIDIA because I believe it is potentially there, and I'm not going to be so affected if we get a little bit of a pullback on Friday, which is tomorrow. So I sold the last one around 324. There really wasn't a technical reason as to why. I just wanted to go ahead and reduce my risk into tomorrow. What you guys can see for the rest of the day since my entry, NVIDIA did not break below the 9 EMA until around 11:48. So since my entry here, you could have just rode that 9 EMA, ride the 9, all the way until it breaks and closes below. This was the first time that NVIDIA broke and closed below at around 11:50. I did take one off here when we broke below the 9. That was my last and final exit there, my 4 out of 5 exit, right here around 11:58, 11:57. But I wanted to let one ride because I knew NVIDIA could have more strength after a major breakout over 270. Held that last runner. The last runner was the one that is up over 200%, the one that made me all of the money today. I hope to see more upside on NVIDIA tomorrow. We'll see what happens, guys. But basically, to recap this trade, it all stemmed from last week. Seeing that daily chart breakout, noticing that on the larger term time frames, we were getting a big technical breakout, and trusting that we could see more momentum behind that break. The trade today was just a textbook trade that I love to take. The break and retest, the 9 EMA hold. If you guys go ahead and watch my A+ setup video, which I'll put up on the screen right now, it is basically everything that I talked about in that video, and it all perfectly aligned here today. Hopefully this video gives you guys some insight on what I look for in a day trade, what I look for in my options trades, how I did it, how I executed it, how I scale out of the position to make sure my risk is smaller and smaller as the stock goes higher and higher, and letting that last one ride to try to just rake in any additional profit that I can. Thank you guys for watching. I hope these videos are helping you. If they are, press that like button. If you want to come hang out in the Discord chat where we trade live every single day, we talk as a group every single day about what's going on in the market, a very collective and educated group of people. I couldn't be more happier with the people we have in there. So shout out to everyone that's watching, that is in the group. Thank you guys for everything you do on a daily basis within that community. So with that said, guys, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.